All right, you ready?
I am.
All right. Well, hey there, social fam. It's your girl, Ashley, and I have one of my beautiful friends, Mrs. Teisha Levi. She's a licensed marriage family therapist, and I could not be more elated. As you guys know, I took you on the journey of the series of Unbecoming, and I did just that. I realized as we were talking just offline here before I hit record I realized I gave you guys probably 10 or 15 years of like processed information, and it's a time now for us just to unpack and just to have a girl to girl, woman to woman, heart to heart conversation. And with her specialty, with her craft, she's gonna use what's in her toolkit just for us to dive deeper. And I had the incredible opportunity meeting you in 2020. You were part of it's called an anthology. Yes, with 5 other women or 6? 6 other women. And that one of my dear and close friends, one of your close friends too, Miss Nurse Candy. And she actually just recently got married. So shout out to her and her new husband. And because of that, what the vision that God gave her in this anthology, it's entitled Becoming Visible.
Yes.
And her foundation is Fit Butterfly, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And these women went on this journey and they were processing, they were healing, they were in their unbecoming to become. And I had the incredible opportunity to sit down with all of them during the pandemic, height of the pandemic. We were all having like mini pandemics, but these women were getting free. And I remember being asked to be a moderator for the in-person session. And because of that, we have now built our own friendship and sisterhood. We just got reconnected because I didn't even know that she had left the Bay, y'all. Who leaves the Bay? A lot of people, right? And so like I said, I couldn't be more excited or elated to be here in this moment. We are in my home. It's not a studio, y'all. This is just all the stuff that I have in my maximalist house that I just put together. But just welcome and thank you just for your willingness to sit here and have this conversation, to dive deeper and to really unpack. And I know you talked about the importance of the concentrated information that I gave people, but ways and tools. And then the flip card here, y'all, I'm not actually asking the questions. No, I'm actually going to be asked the questions here. And so it's just a vision that God had given me. And he whispered 2 individuals to my heart and my spirit. And I was like, ooh, I know they love me, but I hope they say yes. And thankfully they have both said yes. And here we are recording this moment, and I'm ready. I know some of the questions, and I was like, whoo, okay, we about to do this, y'all. So I'm going to let you take it away. And here we are.
Well, again, I do want to just say thank you, Ashley, for having me here.
Yeah.
And going with your heart and your message, right? Your what do you call it? Your assignment. It was your assignment.
That resonates.
Yeah. And I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing your journey with us on your Unbecoming series. As you mentioned, we met 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. To be exact, I have the date here. November.
Do you really?
November 14th, 2020.
Oh, our anniversary is coming up. I love it. I'm going to put that date in my calendar.
Yeah. It was a moment that I won't forget. I actually put it in my notes in my phone.
That's
and
so
as
special.
I was going through the series and just kind of listening to you and hearing your story, I was like, you know what? This sounds familiar. When we were at the table, you probably don't remember this. You looked I don't even know what we were talking about. It was just a group of us all sitting at the table at Candy's house. And you looked at me and you said, accept yourself.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. And I didn't question it. I didn't go far with it. I remember putting it in my notes section in my phone. That's why I have the timestamp.
Wow.
And I was like, when I'm hearing her journey, your journey over the 5 weeks, I said, that was the accept myself. That was that message that you shared with me. And the similarities in it, And so I took a few notes because I was reflecting on each week and each series and our episode, I should say. And some of the things that stood out was your obedience. You're forgiving yourself. You're asking for forgiveness, accepting losses, ending seasonal relationships. I was like, wow. wow, that resonates with me. That's been my accepting myself. That's been shedding. That's been the art of letting go and forgiving. And so I feel like this moment here is so special because we are trusting God. We're having faith. And you are doing the work. You've done the work. You're doing the work. And so to be on this journey and to kind of sit on this side, I feel so honored. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. I'm already like fighting back tears. I'm like,
yeah. Your unbecoming was my accept yourself. That was powerful.
Wow.
I was like, wait, all the things that she said that she needed to do, that she had to do, I was doing some of those things too. And just the similarities in our journey, I know that there are other people that are listening, that are watching, that are going to watch this, and they're going to see themselves in you and I. And how it's possible, right? Yes, there's a lot of work. Yes, there's some surrendering, but it's possible.
Yes.
In my work, you know, I work with a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. But one of the things that stand out is their desire to be relieved. Be relieved of the pain, discomfort, past trauma and hurt. And although my therapy is not religious based, I bring God in the room. I
know that's right.
I bring that energy in the room. And I try to make sure that people feel that, and that if they are worried or not anxious,
whatever the feeling may be,
to pray, to give it to God, to know that to surrender, right? And so my work, I kind of sprinkle a little bit of that in each session. And so I am a healer, and although I'm not God by any means, I sit in sacred places. I get vulnerable with people. We talk about stripping, in different ways. And so to be able to sit here with you and kind of reflect on all the work that you have done and are doing, I'm like, I'm honored. I'm honored. So I appreciate you having me here. I think our goal and our mission here is to plant those little seeds. Absolutely. And I say that in my therapy. I'm just planting seeds. Right. And I think for you, you've planted seeds of hope and your truth. Absolutely. And that's what I admire.
That resonates. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm honored. I'm humbled.
You introduced the series as, you actually reintroduce yourself, I would say. You reintroduce yourself as redefined, healthy, and a whole woman. So since you first started this journey, how has the way you think about healing changed?
Well, healing isn't linear. It's here's the thing, it's like a lifeline, right? You're gonna have, it's gonna ebb, it's gonna flow, it's gonna stretch you. And the way that I see healing is that it's like, honestly, what came to mind is that the Bible says, for he is the potter, and you are the clay. And healing is about being molded. It's about being shaped. It's about being made. It's about being formed, right? And if I think about what healing essentially is, it's not that we have to go through life and have all of these trials and tribulations, but I kind of put the but there. But means in English, forget everything I just said. You actually need to be broken. You do have to be crushed. You do have to feel like you're being sacrificed like the lamb. Like, am I Abraham and Isaac right now? Like, maybe I am. But there's always a ram in the bush. And the way that I see healing is like being on the potter's wheel. And I understand that God entrusts me with the trials. And so healing to me is something that's required, but because the trials are necessary. And so for me, if I'm allowed to go through the things and the transgressions and the offenses, or to be the one who's offending, it's something in there for us to learn. As it's happening to me, if there's another party or a person a part of that, it's an opportunity for them to heal, learn, grow, and transform as well.
Absolutely.
And so healing is essential and it's required. But I view it as, it's like being on the potter's wheel there. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And I'm curious, what are some practical, and you'll hear me say that often, because I feel like, what you shared in your series was rich, and it was
potent,
but it was necessary.
And
even as I digest it, I know, like I said, not everyone's going to, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed with this message.
Overstimulated.
Wow, overstimulated. Yeah.
Bite-sized pieces right now.
Yes, yes. So what does living in holiness and freedom look like to you in your day-to-day life?
What does it look like living in holiness?
Yes, and freedom. Freedom from.
So it's so interesting because every time you say holiness, my mind immediately goes to righteousness. And that word defined in the, like, if you extract it from the Bible, righteousness means right standing with God. And so the word says to be holy, for I am holy. And that means like shedding. You talked about the stripping. And restate the question one more time because I don't want my thought to get away.
How does living in holiness and freedom look like for you in your day-to-day life?
Well, that goes back to the Bible too, because the word says who the Son has set free is truly free indeed. But the question is, are you accepting that freedom? Are you accepting his holiness? Have you, for me in my faith, have you accepted his Son? And there is no condemnation. And also within that, there's no good thing that God would withhold from me for those who walk uprightly. So I find freedom in God. And because I accepted his Son, I now know that I'm redeemed and I'm saved. And so that automatically, it's like a birthright citizenship. Like when we're born, you have a daughter now, right, that you're raising, you get a birth certificate. That's an actual fact of something. There's a new life. And so I feel like every time that I heal and every time that something gets revealed, I get more free. I came across this quote during my last phase of healing coming into like 2025. And I forget the woman or I think it's a woman who said it, but it says, every time that I tell myself the truth, like I give birth to another version of me. And it's like this, a factory reset mode that I do consistently on myself, that every time I'm like, I could be sitting here just in silence and maybe watching TV or driving down the street, and out of nowhere a thought comes, but it's like I allow myself to relive the moment, but not to stay there. And so in that holiness, because I've accepted God as my Father, because I'm trying to get this thing right, not to be perfect, but to get it right. And so to be in this place where I know who God is and how I'm searching scriptures, like how I'm reading his word and how I'm allowing the song and the Psalms of the Lord, the Proverbs, understanding who the minor and major prophets are, all of them had afflictions. But God never chose a perfect person. And so here it is that I'm trying to mirror what it is that this holy word says, and seeing that it's reflected in my life. And so it does give me freedom to understand, like I have a reference. I have a reference. Like you have your theologies, you have like your knacks of different tools that you have to reference. And so I have a living word. It's a breathing, living word that because I applied it, I accepted it in my life. And here's the thing, I can get a new analogy perspective when I go and read it. It tells me who I am. It tells me where I come from. It tells me also where I'm headed. And so the more that I step into the freedom and the light of who he created me to be, not what happened to me, because I don't label myself as anything aside from I am a child of the King. I am Ashley Nicole. I am her in the most confident way, not in a cocky way. There's a humility in that. I now know who, and not just who I am, but whose I am. So there's so much freedom in that. And I don't have to assign who I am. I accept who he called and who he's calling me to be. He says that I'm the head and not the tail. He said that I would be above only and not beneath, that he would make me the lender and not the borrower. He said that I'm the apple of his eye. He said that he's given me beauty for ashes. So
you gotta tell us.
I just accepted that I'm not being anything that he hasn't called me. And so there's freedom in that because he is my Father. When you're a mother, you're nurturing, you're parenting, you're speaking life. You're not speaking death. You're not speaking ill. God, I hope not. Unfortunately, there are situations and dynamics where that has catered to someone's identity, and they're still eating off of that like a platter. But there's so much freedom when you say, no, I don't have to be defined by anything that I don't want to be defined by, or who can define me. Nothing defines me anymore, aside from what I allow and receive from the Holy Spirit telling me who I am. So I hope that answers the question.
It does. I mean, a lot of what you spoke about is in practical sense, it's like spending time with God. Right? It's spending time with God, whether it's in scripture, in reading, or in prayer.
Or stillness. A lot of stillness. a lot of stillness, a lot of quiet time. And like, I believe it was in week 3 where I talked about, like, sometimes you are the offender, and accepting that I don't always get it right.
Yeah.
And even within that, accepting that, you know what, I missed the mark. And telling yourself the truth in that. Tell yourself the truth about what you've done and what you said. There's so much freedom in just owning it.
Yeah. Choosing, I wrote here, choosing grace over guilt.
Grace over guilt. Absolutely.
Choosing grace over guilt. Giving yourself grace. I talk about it in therapy. It's called self-compassion too.
Absolutely.
Right? Giving yourself grace, being compassionate. Yeah, self-love.
Not consumed within me, but truly loving me, seeing me. Like, I had, like, my thought went to, like, before I was really, like, embracing things earlier on in my journey. And I still have these moments. I know for sure, like, October through, like, December, January, it was like I would have, like, these, like, cringe moments, like, oh my God, I can't believe I was that person that said that. Oh my God, I can't believe I was that woman that did that, or that teenager, that little. But here's the thing: there are things that have happened that that cause us, not require us, to sometimes show up in ways you're like, oh my God. But guess what? God hit the factory reset mode. And God had told me, I woke up one morning, or I don't know when it was, and God was like, I'm about to default. I'm about to default reset you. And I was like, what? And I'm like, there's like a little magic button in the back of me and you could go boop. And I'm like, reincarnated? Like, seriously. But what the truth and the reality is that in him, we do become new. New mercies, new grace. When you accept God as your Father, you actually do become something new. Your name is now written, like he knows you. And to know that God speaks to us in those direct manners, like, that's humbling within itself.
Yeah, that's that redefining who you are. And I think in your series Unbecoming, you talked about unlearning and and surrendering and being free and pushing to the side those external distractions. We've learned that unbecoming also requires us to prioritize ourselves.
Absolutely.
As well as like setting boundaries with other people. Where do you feel God has done his biggest, strengthening work in your boundaries?
Oh, learning how to say no with grace, and not out of a place of anger or resentment or frustration or trying to penalize. Like, I just posted something to social media just yesterday, and I read this book about 8 years ago entitled Boundaries, which gives
that's one of my favorites.
And I haven't read it, and it's a thick read, let me tell you, but it gives so many scriptures as well. And understanding, why am I saying yes externally when I have an internal no? And it could just be that it's not that I don't want, it's just like, maybe I just don't like to do that right now. Maybe I'm just not open to making myself available. But I think it's honoring my inward internal voice. And that's wisdom too, right? And I think within that, it's understanding you just because you're asked doesn't mean you have to do it. I want to be led in every aspect, in every way of my life. And I think the biggest thing is understanding that internal voice and not just saying no out of spite, but it's like, maybe I'm not called to walk that way. Maybe I'm not called to serve in that capacity. And so it's being in this place, in this space where I understand, like, my no isn't mean.
No, it's not.
It's the answer.
No.
It's just no. Maybe state the question. I want to make sure I don't miss
no,
anything
you
within
answered
that.
it. You answered it. I think too, I'll add to that.
Like, my no is holy. Did I say that?
And I think the boundaries too that people, sort of get misconstrued is that it's not about the other person, right? It is about recognizing our limits, recognizing our comfort zone, right? What feels good for us, what we want to participate in. And I think too, you hit it on the nose. A lot of people though feel responsible. And you're like, no, my no, it's just my no. It's just that. And so, being free, and being able to set those boundaries is not being responsible for what another person feels.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Knowing that what you are doing is for you. The decisions you're making is for your healing. It's for your unbecoming.
Absolutely.
It's a part of you accepting yourself.
And it's like coming out of that, like, people pleasing. And I realized how much I really over functioned, and it was draining me. And I realized in reflection of like, it was that little girl that felt forsaken, that felt rejected, that felt overlooked. And I thought that's what love was. Like, okay, for you to see me, let me do this for you. Let me serve you in this way. Maybe that'll make you want me. But in reality, I was being used.
Yeah.
I was allowing myself to sacrifice time, resources, energy, emotions, and capacities and ways and with people, no matter who they were, they didn't deserve that version of me.
Yeah.
And so understanding that the boundaries that I put in place, it's not like self-preservation or protection, but it is in a certain sense. I do want to serve from my heart, not from the extent of someone accepting me and seeing like the good in me. Just even if I didn't, I'm still that girl. I'm still a good person. I'm still loving. I'm still that great daughter. I'm still that great sister. I'm still that great friend. But right now, I can't serve you at the extent of losing myself.
That part.
We make God, we overstep that so many times, and we wonder like that like you're just frustrated, and then you realize you take it out on them, but you're really upset with you. So it's like, mirror check, boo. Yeah. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
We're not honoring ourselves.
We're not honoring ourselves. Yeah.
I love that. What would you say to someone who is just beginning to sort of explore boundaries? And of course, it sounds like a great thing, right? To set limits with people or to say no, but it's not always easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you said that people pleasing. That's a great term. What would you say what would be the first thing someone could do to explore boundaries, to test their boundaries, to discover what their boundaries are?
Well, I know in therapy they have this thing called exposure therapy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying directly put yourself in moments, but as things come up, evaluate.
Yeah.
And I've learned, take a pause and evaluate. If I want to do this, and then why? And I've learned something. I've learned not to give an immediate yes. It's okay for me not to immediately respond to that text message. I actually need to observe it. I'm not absorb with an A.
Yes.
Absorb. And realizing like your urgency is not my emergency.
That is true.
Like, let's just like this. Like, your urgency is not my emergency.
Yeah.
And I believe that when we take time to honor it, and honor ourselves first, it gives people that ability to articulate their voice. And so sometimes I think in the beginning, it would just come out raging like, we all got that in us. And she's still there, but she's repressed and suppressed, but she ain't silenced, y'all. She's just refined. But I've just learned how to honor it. I've learned how to honor my internal voice. And something my mom always says, she's like, well, did you pray before you? I'm like, Mom, you ain't got to pray about everything. And then I'm realizing like, maybe we do. Am I supposed to take this trip? Like, am I supposed to apply to this job? Am I supposed to even be entertaining this gentleman? Like all of those things. And it's like, because the reality is when we don't slow down enough to pay attention to wisdom, we then pay a price. And then why are we healing constantly? Because you're not honoring yourself daily. Like,
that is true.
Those are real things. And so what I've learned to be refined, it's okay to pause. It's okay to give yourself the space and the place to just evaluate, why would I choose to do this? And then why would I not? And it doesn't mean that you have to explain to people why notting, but it's for you to understand why you decided to do or not. And it honestly, it helps to remove the emotions out of things. Like my godbrother Donald, God bless that man, I love him, and he taught me so much about not being emotional but being logical. And when you give yourself the pause and creating those boundaries, that's emotions are boundaries for you. They're indicators as well. Like, why am I feeling like I want to fight, or I'm feeling like I'm emotionally offended by certain things? And I was like, oh, because I overstepped somewhere, so it means I need to pause. I need to give space and place and allow that to rest and then come back to it.
You talked in your series too about just control, and
my
giving up the
with
control,
it.
or you struggle with it.
Yeah.
So how do you surrender when you like, hey, I need to know, I need to drive this.
I'm still there, and I'm a lot
that.
better, right? But what's the question? Because I want to make sure I didn't cut you.
No,
off.
I'm just saying, how do you manage what you're saying with this need, this urge to control and to do and to lead with?
It was just like literally like it's the willingness to just release and understanding I don't have control, but understanding, understanding where that comes from. What trigger, what trauma was that? What incident took place that I was like, I have to manipulate the situation to get my outcome, or is that me just trying to avoid being hurt? Like trying to avoid a wound. In reality, like we can't, like, this is why we have insurance, right? This is why we have health insurance. This is why we have vision insurance. Like we have car insurance for the incidentals, for the happenstances of life that are going to occur. And so I think that answers. Does that answer the question? Okay.
And I also know you, again, Unbecoming was in real time. I think you did a lot of work leading up to that, of course. But you were you were like reliving it week after week. And I think we talked offline, and I one word that I told you was a lot of vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. The amount of vulnerability.
I was like, Lord, why?
I was taken on a journey with you. I was like, oh wow, Ash, she went through that, and okay, yeah, she experienced that. And I think it was rooted in vulnerability and truth, and honesty. And I appreciate you taking us on that journey.
Thank you.
I appreciate you also leaning into forgiveness. Like a part of your healing journey was forgiving yourself.
Absolutely.
And asking for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Very huge. What was something you've been holding on to that you noticed that you were holding on to that you eventually realized this is a burden, this is weighing me down, this is holding me down?
Yeah, I think it really goes to like episode 4 of where I shared that letter publicly about the shame and how I feel like my identity was so attached to who I thought I should have been or what I should have accomplished by at some stage and phase of our life. You know, we try to plan, many got the plans of man, and then we realize why we failing because we ain't listening and surrendering. And I got to this place where I wasn't afraid to, I like to talk, obviously, but I think that when we are speaking, when we have the mic, when the floor is ours, to own it and not to be afraid of our voice. And I couldn't be afraid of what was going to happen once I said what I said. If anything, I freed me. And in freeing me, people get to see themselves, that it's really okay to like be at this stage and phase of our life and be like, it's okay to not have it figured out.
Yeah.
And being okay and knowing that he's leading me. He's Jeremiah 29:11 my life. Before the foundations of the world, like God knew me. He knew that we would be here at this day, at this stage and phase of our life. And when I think back and I'm like, man, it's kind of like, it's incredible if I think about it. Like what I'm doing now are the things that I've always desired to do. I just didn't know like what that would look like. But guess what? That's why I had to go through the journey and the experiences that gave me, you and I, a moment like today. And I think that if we begin to embrace that perspective, that nothing is ever wasted.
Yeah. Nothing
is ever wasted. And that self-forgiveness set me free. Because I realized like how long I was holding my breath. I realized how I literally they said I became someone else, but I think like we have to metamorphosize into something else to kind of like, it's like putting on a blanket or a jacket, a protective layer. Like, you know, we think about the depression that I fell into when that phase of my life didn't happen. And of course I was still working, I was still doing things, but I wasn't being fruitful. I wasn't multiplying. I just kind of like, I had to figure it out. And it wasn't when I look back at it, I'm like, man, I wish I had the mentorship and the guidance and someone to teach me and help me figure it out. But maybe the only thing that I say is like, I wish I would have gave it to God sooner.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I'm like, I wish I would have listened more to other people and other voices. But then you also reflect and it's like, but are they living the life that I wanted at that time? No, they weren't. And so we're all down here just trying to figure it out. Yeah. There's like a quote that says, you know, like, be kind, because we're all just walking each other home.
Yeah.
And so.
And this is your time.
Yeah.
This is your time.
Yeah. Thank you. This is the time. Like, and I'm incredibly honored and humbled of like, when I do hear myself speak, I'm like, wow, God, like you gave me something so special that you didn't give anybody else. It's my own unique identity.
Yeah.
And I'm embracing that.
Good for you. Good for you. What about, you know, for those that are watching that are feeling burdened by the expectations of family, expectations that they're putting on themselves, the expectations of faith. what's one thing that they can do today to start unbecoming?
You got to live for you. You can literally, you got to ask yourself, like, not just what do I want to do in life, how do I want to live? And living doesn't just mean like, you know, what decor. It's like, who do I really want? Do I want to have, I'm really big on like having a calm central nervous system. Like I want to wake up in ease, but what's going to allow me to do that? What's going to allow me to breathe? What's going to allow me to flow? And so restate the question one more time.
Yeah. What's one thing that you can share with our listeners in terms of unbecoming? What's one practical thing they can do to start unbecoming or to start accepting themselves?
Start telling yourself the truth.
The truth. Hello.
Just start literally like just tell yourself the truth about who you are, what has happened to you, and who you want to be. Not because of the pain, but not in spite of it either, but because of it, I want to know what it looks like to be free and what it looks like to live healthy and whole. Like, what does it feel like to be redeemed? What does it feel like to forgive and then to be forgiven? What does it really look like to accept it? And I understand there are some dark, heavy, gruesome things that myself, you have had to live and walk through. But holding on to it, sometimes I get it. It's easier to hold on to the pain of yesterday than to embrace what the future can actually hold. But I've just decided, like, tell yourself, I'm going to stand in the light. And to understand that freedom, it tastes so sweet.
It does.
It tastes so sweet. And I'll never go back to the cave. The only time I do is to help free others. So call me Sojourner Truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. I think too is that, you know, praying honestly, when you said honesty and being honest with yourself, but also being honest in your prayers.
Yeah.
You know, being honest with yourself.
Because God can't bless who we pretend to be.
No.
He already knows. Like, he was there. He's not the one who caused it.
Yeah.
But being honest in that. And prayers are such a vulnerable place too. Like I realize, I think there's a scripture, like there's a scripture that says he's bottled up every tear, and tears are also, they're a form of worship. They're the things that I cannot articulate. Like there was some playlist that I just discovered, and it's like R&B, but scripture R&B. And it kind of has like, I love jazz, like I love music, and I'm trying to get out of listening to secular music. And don't get me wrong, I still listen to it, but I was listening to this new playlist that I was actually playing it when you walked in. And I just realized whatever the scripture was, it threw me into worship. And I got to this moment where I couldn't flow in words, and my tears, what I was feeling and what I was thinking flowed. That's what God received. And to know that, like, in those vulnerable, sacred moments, that God is like, bring it all to me. There's a song by Fred Hammond that tell me where it hurts.
Yes.
And
I'll
told
me
fix
about that
it.
Song.
Yes.
Yes.
And to know that as I'm still healing, and even though I'm being on the front end and in front of people sharing this, I still have my moments.
Absolutely.
I am strong, but I have my moments. Like, I've learned who to be weak and vulnerable in front of, and that's only him. I weep at Jesus's feet, not in the hands and the hearts of others, because I see what that's done of things in the past. You can't always trust everybody, but you have trusted therapists who can guide you, and you find the right fits of people who can help serve you in those capacities to where you break free, and then being guided in who to share what with.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. And two, I think it's God, we're carrying around a lot that God never even asked us to carry, right? We are we are holding on.
Bring it to him. He said, cast all. And the last time I checked, all was everything.
Yeah.
Cast all your cares upon me. Why? Because he cares for me.
Yes.
If he watches over the lilies, if he feeds the birds, why would he not be concerned about Teisha?
Yeah.
Why would he not be concerned about Ash? He's so consumed in who we are. He's such a good father. Yeah. So
I love it. I love it. I think, again, it's the unbecoming and the accepting yourself are those things that we need to do too, right?
Absolutely.
And to be present on that journey, right? We can't come fake and half have done.
Right. But my mom said no one likes a half-baked cake, Ash. And I'm like,
no.
I was like, huh? You're right. Nobody likes a half-baked cake.
On your series week after week, you took us on a really, really powerful journey, Ash. And I just am, again, honored to sit here and to give you your flowers. Here you go.
Thank you.
Your flowers. Yes. Thank you for taking us.
The birds of paradise.
Yes. Thank you for taking us on the journey.
Thank you for coming on the journey.
Thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
We don't see that often. Even in my therapy work, I'm pulling teeth
I'm probably a therapist's dream, huh?
Yes, actually. I was like, she did her work. She did everything.
Ain't no faking here.
Right. She did her work.
Did the work.
She did her work.
Still doing the work. Committed to my life.
Yes.
For life.
So we want to thank the viewers.
We do.
Constantly for their views and for sharing and for supporting you. And for giving you encouragement. I know outside of the series, you would get a lot of phone calls and people just texting and just saying, we love you and thank you for sharing that and thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think here too, we want to leave, the viewers and the people that are watching with this word of encouragement. I'll say that. Unbecoming requires vulnerability. And Ashley showed us what that is. Unbecoming requires vulnerability and a willingness to take action. It's letting go of who we were or thought we were in order to embrace who He has called us to be in holiness and in truth.
In holiness and in truth. Yeah.
It requires self-compassion and having grace.
Yeah.
All while leading with love. Right? So we sit here today and we encourage you all to reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out for support. Reach out to your faith communities.
Absolutely.
They speak moments that Ashley has. She welcomes you all.
I do.
I, as a licensed therapist, I welcome you to my practice, Mental Wellness with Teisha. You can reach out. But get started. Yeah. Start accepting yourself. Start shedding. Start unbecoming for the whole purpose of living wholeness and truth as He has called us to do.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. What was one of is there an episode or a statement or a moment that stood out the most to you? I know you talked and you've given me my flowers about the public vulnerability, but what did you learn about you by watching me?
We were alike. We were very similar. I think the whole series, like I said, it was a lot, and I digested and I took notes. You should see my notes.
Really?
Oh yeah. I can't, they're on my writing, but I took a lot of notes and I did a lot of reflection, and I think it was the whole series that resonated with me.
Wow.
It was like you're human, just like me.
Yeah.
We are, and I think that's the same for a lot of people, especially in my work. I'm healing too when I'm sitting with my clients. And I think that there's this expectation that I'm whole and I'm healed. Yeah. And no, I am on my journey as well.
Yeah.
And so from your series, it was a lot of those moments, Ashley. I can look at my notes, but it was every moment on those 5 weeks that we're similar. Yeah. She is I is she. And that God has called us to live as Him, to live like Him. And I know that we are, we're not perfect. This journey is
but we're being perfected.
Yes, yes. We're being stripped.
Yes.
I had to sit with what you call like seasonal friendships, seasonal relationships. I had to sit with, wow, I was a part of that. I was the reason for that, that breakdown. And so it was just a lot of like reflecting, I would say. And like I said, the connection that I made was your unbecoming was my accepting myself. Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing that with me 5 years ago. Because I feel like, truthfully, I've been on this journey for longer, but really, really reflecting and really getting closer spiritually and really reading my Bible and doing practical things day to day to draw me in closer. And so I think those are some of the moments that you shared and your own experiences that resonated with me.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah. It just really humanizes us.
Yeah.
You know, and we're just vessels.
Literally.
And so you coming in your way to spread the word and to share through your experience. I do the same thing in those settings when I'm sitting with clients. And I share in their experience, and it just felt that way. I mean, it just felt very human. You know, it was a real heartfelt human experience. Yeah, a spiritual experience. Yeah,
that means a lot to me. And I think it's so important that therapists talk about how they are also still healing. And when you were speaking, just the Holy Spirit just said to make mention of this, like, sometimes just us as people, we don't realize like how many things are actually lying dormant within us. Like so many things that we probably have just blocked out. Like we've told ourselves, I'm never going to speak on it again. I'm never going to think about it again. I don't ever want to, like, you know? And so we get to this place where I can only imagine, and it's kind of like I envisioned you, like you're sitting down with a client and they're telling you about some of their triggers, traumas, or experiences. And then I couldn't imagine being in a moment, I'm like, holy grail, like I have some work to do, right? But then realizing that something my father says, he is a pastor here in the Bay Area, he was like, a pastor needs another pastor, how a doctor needs another doctor, how a therapist needs a therapist. Like we are not healers of ourselves, right? Like we have God, and then we have people like you that have dedicated their life to the betterment of our society. And so I want to honor you and thank you just for your encouragement to yourself, your dedication and your willingness to yourself to stay on the potter's wheel, to be the therapist that actually I'm going to heal as much as I can. As much as I can, not just but for you, so that you can be free, so that you're not like, you don't want to be, what's the word I'm trying to say? Like, you don't want to be like a false prophet when it comes to this stuff. That's not the word that I'm thinking of, but that's what's coming up. Like, you want to be, you want to be the teacher as well as the student.
Yes, and I am. In every session, I'm learning from others. As I pour into them, they pour into me all
Absolutely.
the time. And to your point, yes, I am on this journey with them. I'm no better. You know, I am on this journey. And so, again, I'm honored to be here to be able to share that. Because I think that's a misconception. That, therapists are healed. No, I actually have a therapist. Yeah. I am open to saying that. I am doing my work as well. I get triggered as well. I still have, moments. I still have, opportunities to heal, and I take them. You know, and like for you, like when I was hearing your forgiveness, I was like, yes. Forgiveness is, I'm all about it. And to the asking for forgiveness from him, right? And not that I need to ask from anyone else. You know, that the forgiveness and my surrendering is for him and with him. So I would say I was full each week. Wow. Just hearing you and honored. Just reflecting. And like I said, I saw myself in you in so many different ways. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm honored, I'm humbled, I'm grateful. Just thank you just for your commitment and for saying yes to this. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I really did. Likewise. I got through it and I didn't cry. I just knew I was going to be sitting here like sobbing because I'm just such a big crybaby. It's like, no, I'm in touch with my feelings. And it's okay to feel. Yeah. It's really okay to feel. And this is a celebratory moment. Honestly, it really is. Clink, clink, clink. Yes. We can clink to that, huh? Clink, clink, clink. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having me. And I speak blessings and prosperity over your business, over your practice, over your family, over your life. And for what you did today, the heavens are rejoicing. And I know our Father in heaven is proud. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us in this chat, and stay tuned for what's next. All right. That was good. Thank you. I hug you. Ooh, my leg went to sleep.